The Apple event is here, and I'm going to go through all the newest health and fitness updates. My name is @ShervinShares on all the socials. There's some cool new Apple Watch updates with the Ultra 3, the Series 10, the SE, and two amazing health updates, which is hypertension, high blood pressure, chronic high blood pressure detection, as well as a new sleep score that's going to be available to some of the older watches as well. So I'm going to go through all the new things and share with you what I'm super excited about and what I think about all the newest updates that Apple just announced today. Now let's start off with sleep score. So the Series 6 and later, the SE2 and later, and all of the Ultra models are getting a sleep score update, and you will get a sleep score for all of your historical data. So if you've been tracking your sleep on your Apple Watch with any of these devices or newer, you'll be able to see an actual sleep score for all that information. I've been sleeping with my Apple Watch for a couple of years now, so I'm excited to go through with this new update. I did download the new public beta, and it might be available if you want to test it out a little early, but I will have a full review once I have the new devices in hand coming out next week, so subscribe to our notifications to see that. I'm not a big lover of sleep scores, but I understand people who have Whoop, Aura, even Fitbit and Google Pixel. All these watches have sleep scores or some kind of like score, readiness score, whatever it is, and I think Apple has to kind of give in. And I'm happy about how they executed actually, because a lot of other wearables will use data that might not be as accurate, but Apple decided to pick three foundational pillars, and that is your duration, bedtime, and sleep interruptions. And each of these have a different amount that feed up to the 100% sleep score, and they used information from a couple of important associations in the United States to help figure that out. So I'm excited to see how this helps teach people and train people to sleep better, focus on their sleep, go to the same time, go to bed at the same time, make sure you're sleeping enough hours, as well as finding ways to minimize any kind of sleep interruptions. The second massive health announcement is hypertension notifications. So this will help with chronic high blood pressure. We're not getting blood pressure readings, but we're getting a notification that will tell you that you have a possibility of high blood pressure. Now, this is what's interesting about this is high blood pressure is a big problem, especially in the US. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize because they're not getting their blood pressure tested, they're not going to their doctors to get checkups, they're not eating healthy. And hopefully with this new software update and with all these supported devices from the Series 9 and newer, as well as the Ultra 2 and newer, you'll be able to get these notifications after a 30-day period. It'll tell you, hey, you potentially have hypertension, go get checked to the doctor, or start measuring your blood pressure using a blood pressure monitor, and it makes it effortless to input those numbers into the Apple Health app. Now, there are some smart high blood pressure monitor devices that will automatically input that into Apple Health, so I highly recommend getting one of those as well if you want to make sure that you're inserting all your data and information in there. Now, this is going to be an FDA regulated feature in the United States, and it will be available hopefully very soon and coming to 150 other countries and regions. And you do have to be 22 and older, not pregnant, and it has to be approved in your country. Now, from a hardware perspective, what are we getting? We're getting the new Apple Watch Ultra 3. New watch this year. We didn't get a new one last year, just a new color, but this year we have a new watch. The screen is slightly bigger, so the bezels will appear smaller. We're getting the new LTPO 3, which it was on the Series 10 on the new Ultra 3. So now you get a better viewing from different angles. You get the 1 Hertz refresh rate, so you can have always on display and have it update every second. So if you have cool watch faces or timers, you're able to see that information with the always on display without having to have the screen fully on. It saves power while still giving you the information that you need. We're getting longer battery life, 42 hours of battery life, and then 72 hours in low power mode on the Ultra 3. Satellite connectivity, so if you're not in a place where you have a phone with satellite connectivity and you have your watch, you'll be able to get emergency services. If you have cellular on your Apple Watch Ultra 3, you'll also be able to send messages as well as send updates to Find My on your Ultra 3. And without a cellular plan, the emergency SOS will still be available. And for anyone purchasing the Ultra 3, you'll get free all satellite communication features for the first 2 years. We're also getting faster charging on the Ultra. I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but the Ultra charges slower, but now we're getting much better fast charging on the Ultra 3, which I'm excited about because that's my main watch that I use, and being able to just plop it on for 15 minutes, get a decent amount of hours back on the watch and ready to go with your day. It's just so much more helpful when you're trying to get a lot of long workouts in, track your sleep. You want to be able to charge it quickly. And then lastly, 5G. We're getting 5G not only on the Ultra 3, but also the other devices. And it's going to have, I think, 2 antennas. And depending on where you are and how good the connection is, it's going to use one antenna in environments where there's good connection, and then it'll boost up to use both antennas when you're in environments where the connection isn't as good. So you can still be able to listen to podcasts, download music, send messages, do whatever you need to do in all of those environments. Second hardware is the Apple Watch Series 11. Now, those come in 42 and 46 millimeters. They start at $399. It gets all the hypertension, the sleep score features, which we'll get on the Ultra 3 as well. The display is now 2 times more scratch resistant. They're using some new Ion X glass, some magic Apple stuff that they've figured out, because a lot of people say, hey, my Apple Watch breaks, it cracks, it scratches. They've made these watches more durable and better. Specifically, the aluminum Series 11 watches, they've really hardened and improved the surface. The Series 11 also has a 24-hour battery life, so that has been improved from the last model, as well as there's a new space gray aluminum color. And the third watch upgrade is the Apple Watch SE 3. Now, this had probably the most amount of upgrades. This is probably the watch that I am most excited about, even though it's probably the most budget-friendly watch. It starts at $249. You have a 40 and a 44 millimeter. You're pretty much getting almost all the features you're gonna get on the top tier watches from Apple in this budget-friendly option. And I'm like, this is crazy. You're getting so many health features. Wrist temperature sensing, sleep apnea notifications. You're getting the Ion X strengthened glass for 4 times more resistance than the previous model. 5G cellular, fast charging, always on display. S10 with on-device Siri. The one-handed gestures like wrist flick and double tap. Voice isolation, media playback, so you can play out of the speaker on the Apple Watch SE. And that's just made that much better. Apple Watch for kids. This device is gonna be crazy. I think having so much more power in a device that's easier to afford, I'm really stoked. I'm excited to test this out. I want you to comment down below what questions you have about these 3 watches. I'm gonna test them out over the next week and provide my opinion on what I think. And it's gonna be easier if you have questions that I can answer, I'll be sure to do that. But we did have another hardware upgrade that is not watch related, but AirPods. We got the AirPods Pro 3. Now, I had the chance to test these out. In the audio, I have not listened to headphones that good. It literally felt like I was in a stadium. I was listening to music at a venue. The bass, like, I don't know how to explain it. The audio is light years ahead from the AirPods Pro 2. They did something. The active noise cancellation is 2 times better than the Pro 2, 4 times better than the Pro original and the AirPods 4. I was shocked. We also get heart rate tracking. So now with an iPhone and AirPods, you can actually just track your workout. You can do an outdoor run, use the GPS from your phone. You can start the workout on your phone. You can use the heart rate tracking from your AirPods. Boom, you don't even need a watch anymore. So I think that's gonna be very interesting, because a lot of people maybe don't like to wear watches, don't want to have a watch. You don't wanna purchase another device, and AirPods are probably one of the more common than Apple Watches. Now you have that heart rate built in, you can use it for your workouts, listen to music. I think the use cases for this are gonna be crazy. If you do have a watch, the AirPod heart rate tracking is gonna use the left, the right ear, and the Apple Watch is gonna switch between all 3 to make sure you have the best heart rate information possible. I will be testing that once I get my hands on it to see how accurate it actually is. I wanna do tests with the Apple Watch, without the Apple Watch, but heart rate tracking in the AirPods, very, very exciting. The geometry has also changed, so the ear tip alignment is going to be slightly different, where it's gonna fit in your ears better. They've made the AirPods slightly smaller. It's a bit hard to tell, but you will notice they are smaller, they're much lighter. We're gonna have a live translation on device, so you don't need internet. As long as you download the languages, you'll be able to put your AirPods in. You need to have both in, and then you can turn on live translation on your iPhone. So the iPhone with Apple Intelligence needs to be nearby. That's the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 16 and newer, connected to those AirPods, and someone can speak the other language that's supported, and it will live translate in your ear. I tested these out today, and wow, it's so fast. It's on device, doesn't require internet. It happens all within the AirPods and your iPhone. We're also getting more battery life, so I did travel here from New York City, 6-hour flight. My AirPods died around hour 4 or 5. The new AirPods Pro 3 will last an entire cross United States flight. They will get 8 hours of battery life with active noise cancellation. Absolutely necessary. I think I need that. You'll have 10 hours in transparency mode. That's plenty. You could wear your AirPods all day and you'll be good. You should probably take them out. I wouldn't wear AirPods all day, but you can do that now. The hearing test. If you haven't watched my hearing test video, I highly recommend you go watch that. But now with the new, better active noise cancellation, you can do the hearing test in a slightly louder environment. I remember when I first did it with my family, people were making slight sounds here and there, and the hearing test was failing for a lot of people. So this will just make it easier and faster to complete the hearing test. And we all know that prices of a lot of products, camera gear, phones, all kinds of technologies has been going up. So my dollar has been worth less and less, but we've been honored, we've been lucky. The AirPods Pro 3 are going to stay at the previous price of $249. I think the AirPods is like one of the best Apple devices ever made. Not that the other ones are bad, but like, come on, this is some really cool technology. It's just a small form factor. And lastly, we did get some updates to the workout app that weren't announced in June, and that is the ability to start workouts on your iPhone. So now on the iPhone, I can actually go to the workout app. There's a section where if I don't have AirPods, I think you can start a few workout options, track the GPS, you know, distance, duration. But with the new AirPods, it allows you to start up to 50 different workout types. I can track my heart rate, and we can finally make custom workouts on your phone rather than your Apple Watch. So you need to have an Apple Watch connected to the iPhone, but now you can edit your custom workouts. You know, I like to run. I'm doing the Berlin, the Chicago Marathon. If I need to have a track workout, I need to create some kind of workout for my coach, and I'm not using an app like Runna or Training Peaks, I can now create that track workout. I can create, you know, whatever that is, mile repeats, put it into the workout app on my iPhone, and it sends to my watch. So I'm excited to test it out. I want to see how it works exactly, but I got a little taste of it. My name is Sherman Shares. Follow me on Instagram at Sherman Shares. I post the newest stuff there, posting all the cool deep dives here on YouTube, and I'm excited to test them out. We'll have all the watches and we'll have the new AirPods. So questions down below. See you in the next one. Peace.